Plant FAQs, Xylosma. How fast does Xylosma grow? From my experience, Xylosma grows at a moderate pace, not too fast and not too slow. I've noticed it puts on a good amount of growth each season, making it a great choice if you're looking for a shrub that fills in steadily over time without being overly aggressive. Is Xylosma poisonous? I was curious about the safety of Xylosma, especially since I have pets and children running around. After doing some research and consulting with local gardeners, I learned that Xylosma is not considered poisonous, which was a relief and one less thing to worry about in the garden. Can a Xylosma grow in Colorado? Living in Colorado, I was initially uncertain if Xylosma would thrive here due to our unique climate. However, I found out that while it might need some extra care and protection during the harsh winters, Xylosma can indeed grow in Colorado with the right conditions and attention. Do Xylosmas survive freezing weather? When it comes to freezing weather, Xylosma can be a bit sensitive. I've had to provide mine with some winter protection, like mulching around the base and sometimes covering it during particularly cold snaps. Without these precautions, it can suffer damage or even die back. Does Xylosma bloom? Seeing Xylosma bloom is a delightful experience. The small, inconspicuous flowers might not be the main attraction, but they do add a charming touch when they appear. I've noticed them typically in the spring, adding a subtle yet pleasant aspect to the plant. Does Xylosma do well in Las Vegas, Nevada heat? I wasn't sure how well Xylosma would handle the extreme heat of Las Vegas, but it turns out it's quite resilient. Despite the scorching temperatures, my Xylosma has done remarkably well with regular watering and some afternoon shade to prevent scorching. How far apart to plant Xylosma? For spacing, I found that planting Xylosma about 4 to 6 feet apart works well. This gives them enough room to grow and fill in without crowding each other, ensuring they stay healthy and maintain a good shape. Is Xylosma a tree? Xylosma is more of a shrub than a tree, although it can be trained into a small tree form if desired. I prefer to keep mine as a dense, bushy shrub because it works perfectly as a hedge or privacy screen in my garden. Is Xylosma deer resistant? One of the best things about Xylosma is its deer resistance. Living in an area with plenty of deer, I've been pleased to see that they tend to leave my Xylosma alone, which is a huge plus for maintaining my garden's appearance. Is Xylosma drought tolerant? Xylosma has proven to be quite drought tolerant in my experience. Once established, it can survive on minimal watering, which has been especially helpful during dry spells when water conservation is important. Is Xylosma poisonous to dogs? When considering the safety of my pets, particularly dogs, I found that Xylosma is not toxic to them. This was a crucial factor for me because my dogs are always nosing around the garden, and I wanted to ensure they wouldn't be at risk. When to prune Xylosma? Pruning Xylosma is something I usually do in late winter or early spring before new growth starts. This timing helps promote a fuller, more vigorous growth habit, and I found it keeps the plant looking its best throughout the year. How to care for Xylosma? Caring for Xylosma has been quite an adventure for me. I've found that it's a resilient plant, but it still needs some attention to thrive. Firstly, I make sure to plant it in well-draining soil, as it doesn't like to sit in water. I've also learned that Xylosma enjoys full sun, so I place it in a spot where it can soak up those rays all day long. As for watering, I've discovered that it's best to keep the soil consistently moist but not soggy. I usually check the soil regularly and water when the top inch feels dry. Lastly, I prune my Xylosma occasionally to maintain its shape and encourage healthy growth. Overall, caring for Xylosma has been rewarding, especially when I see its lush green leaves flourishing.